Hey guys, welcome back to the Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo. I've got a special topic I wanted to cover for you guys. Now, normally you guys know me over here at the Stuff of Legend. If we don't have anything nice to say, oftentimes I don't make a video. But what I do want to talk about is this. Elizabeth Banks says men ruined Charlie's Angels. And I want to clarify this point before we get started. This is a conversation that I know a lot of people already heard everyone else talking about. Probably you heard it on John Campia, probably a number of other places that you've already heard it if you watched other channels that often talk about maybe more negative subjects than positive. I wanted to clarify that that's not me. You guys know me. I'm usually like chipper, talk about the things that get me excited, which is a lot of things, mostly comic book, superheroes, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, that kind of stuff, Power Rangers. But this caught my attention because of who said it. I am a huge fan of Elizabeth Banks. I adore Elizabeth Banks. I think that she is arguably one of the best actresses alive today. I think she is, in my opinion, and I know many of you guys probably won't share this, maybe, I think she's the best actress alive today. I think she's got more range than any actress on the market. And you look at her resume, she's done so many great and wonderful and funny roles, like funny, crazy, weird, zany, but also like roles that really tug on your heart. She's done, I haven't seen Charlie's Angels, so I'll open up by saying that. I know a lot. Nobody I know saw Charlie's Angels. I don't know anybody that saw Charlie's Angels. If you do, and you did see Charlie's Angels, leave a comment down below. Let me know, or let me know in the live chat what you guys have to say about it, because I would love to hear your opinion, and I will share it. We're going to talk about this for a little bit, so leave that comment in the live right now, and I'll be sure to look over, read it, so that we can have that conversation, okay? Elizabeth Banks made some really interesting statements about Charlie's Angels before it came out into theaters. So this is before it ended up flopping. If you guys didn't hear, it is a flop. It has lost money. It did not make enough money to cover its own production budget, let alone marketing. So it did not do well. But before the movie came out, some very interesting quotes. I'll see if I can pull this up for you guys. I think it's this one. So Elizabeth Banks says Charlie's Angels' failure reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. Now, I, for one, love to see women in action. I love action movies and TV shows. I love to see chicks kick butt. I love to see dudes kick butt. I love seeing butts get kicked. For me, it's not an issue of gender, it's not an issue of race, it's not, for me, action is action. If it's good action, it's good action. I've grown up on the Power Rangers. One of my favorite characters of all time is Kimberly Hart. Kimberly Hart, you guys know, is the Pink Ranger. One of these things that is also very interesting is they have the actress Naomi Scott in the new Charlie's Angels movie, which, for the record, is one of two reasons why I was thinking about going to see this film until the trailers came out and then things were being said about it that ended up dissuading me from seeing it, and I'll get to that reason as well. I love Naomi Scott. I think she did an awesome job in the Power Rangers reboot in 2017. I thought that her take on Kimberly Hart was really, really good. I actually am one of the few people that really enjoyed the new Power Rangers. And if you take a look here, I have her Funko Pop, and I've had this for a very long time. I have had it since the movie came out. I went out and purchased it because I fell in love with the film. I was one of the people that was championing, yeah, come on, go make the Power Rangers 2017 sequel, make another one. And that didn't happen. That ended up getting canceled and thrown to the side, which is unfortunate. I really like that movie, and I really like Naomi Scott. I have no preferences or ties to Kristen Stewart. I don't even know the name of the chick in the middle, unfortunately. But nevertheless, Elizabeth Banks was the main draw for me. I love her. I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she would be the perfect cast for Susan Storm. I'm telling you guys all of this because I want you to know that what I have to say is coming from a place not of hate, but just of criticism of what she's saying. So let's go ahead and check this out. It says, as you've probably heard, Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels movie completely bombed at the box office with around $8 million over the weekend. Not a lot. It says, as you might imagine, a lot of people are going to place the blame on men not wanting to see women in action films. In an interview with the Herald Sun via IndieWire, before the movie was released, Banks said the following. She says this, look, people have to buy tickets to this movie too. This movie has to make money. That part is 100% true. And it's kind of a no-brainer duh type of statement. It's like, if the movie doesn't sell tickets, it's not going to make money. It's like, of course, that's how movies make money. But then she gets on to say this. It says, if this movie doesn't make money, remember, this is before the movie comes out and didn't make money. She's saying this. She's like, I hope it makes money. If it doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women in action movies. And John Campea, I'm a huge fan of his. He came to kind of play, I guess it was devil's advocate. Maybe he was just shooting straight, because it kind of does make sense. There is a stereotype in Hollywood, but the stereotype doesn't hold water pretty much anywhere else. I think Hollywood is this weird bubble where everyone thinks the world is a certain way and it's not. And all the rest of us are just looking at Hollywood like, dude, you guys are freaks. You guys are weird. That is crazy. And like they're over there talking about like, I don't know, just, I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to get too political. I want to try to keep this as social as possible. You know what I mean? Just talk about this particular article, but they have this mind state over there that for some reason men don't go see women do action movies. Okay, well, what about Lucy, or what about Ghost in the Shell, or, you know, like what about the fact that Captain Marvel made $1 billion? I mean, Captain Marvel, I thought was a pretty good movie. I thought it was pretty decent. You guys may have seen my review on that. I think I gave it like 7.5 or 8, which is pretty good. The main problem with that, in my opinion, was I thought the acting was a little weak at parts. And other than that, I really enjoyed the villains. I love the story. I loved most of the story. I thought it was a great production. I thought what they did with it was awesome. I love the character of Captain Marvel. But men don't want to see women do action movies. I think that's a stretch. I think that's a huge reach, because there's a lot of movies that have been female-led that have made quite a bit of money. I mean, what about like Zoe Saldana in Avatar? Or Zoe Saldana in I know Chris Pratt was the lead in Guardians of the Galaxy, but that made a lot of money. Not to mention all of the women in the MCU. You talk about I think it was more than half of the cast of Black Panther was female, or something crazy like that, which is and the main cast, like the primary supporting cast, most entirely female. And it was a great film. I don't think that what she's saying here is awful, but I'll tell you what it does. It makes it seem like you're trying to tell men, first of all, you're pointing the finger right at a man's face, at all men, and you're saying, you need to go see it, or what everyone has to say about you is true, regardless of whether or not it is actually true. And you're just like, as a dude, my first reaction to that is like, why are you assuming that I don't want to go see women in action movies, when in reality, I might just not want to go see your woman action movie? You know what I mean? The marketing for this film kind of sucked. It wasn't good. And then not to make matters worse, there was a lot of talk and interviews where the cast members and then Elizabeth Banks herself were saying that it was like it's a Me Too movie, and this movie is for women everywhere, and it's not for men. And then they get, and this is where I don't want to get petty, because I think Naomi Scott is pretty. I think that this chick in the middle is pretty. I'm not a huge fan of Kristen Stewart, and it's not because of her Twilight roles. I've never seen Twilight, so for me that doesn't have any weight. For me, I don't know, like she doesn't seem likable. You know, like there's some people you can watch a trailer and be like, wow, that person seems really likable or cool. You look at Chris Pratt in anything and you're like, I could go hang out with that guy. You know what I mean? Or like, or for instance, Elizabeth Banks seems like someone that would be pretty cool to hang out with. Like go like have a, I don't know, go like meet her or something. If you win like one of those giveaways where you're like on set, I would love to go on set with Elizabeth Banks. I wouldn't want the same thing with Kristen Stewart, for instance. And she was the main chick of the 3 chicks. And to me, it's not a big draw. I'm not a fan. I don't know what this chick in the middle is from. I like Naomi Scott. So for me, 1 out of 3 has some pull, but the trailers weren't that great. And so for me, I'm like, I don't know that I want to spend. It wouldn't be $10 for me, or now movie tickets are basically 12 or 13 bucks. It'd be like 13 bucks for me. I'd take my wife for sure. And then we get popcorn and soda. It ends up being like a 20 or 30 buck. Yeah, almost 30 bucks to go to the theater. And I've got to get babysitting for my kids. So you're talking about men, right? We're talking about men. This movie may or may not appeal to younger dudes. Maybe. I can't say for sure. For me, it's not a very strong draw, especially when my wife doesn't want to go see it. When my wife looks at the trailer and says that looks like it's terrible and I don't want to go see that, then why is it my fault if every time I go to the theater, my wife's with me? Why am I going to go see a movie my wife doesn't want to see if I don't particularly want to see it? I might not want to see it, and so maybe you could make the argument, men don't, oh, why isn't it clicking? Men don't go see women do action movies. You might be able to say that in this case, but you can't say do action movies as in all action movies. I love women in action movies. Like, for instance, I'm just going to reflect really quick. If you guys bear with me for exactly, I don't know, let's do like 6 seconds. I'm going to grab a few Funko Pops and just show you what I'm talking about. Hang on, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me all right? Hang on 1 sec. 1 second. Hang on, let me see if I can just grab a few of them up top. Let me see if I can grab a couple of these. Maybe some of this. Maybe this one here. Let me see. Grab some of this. I don't know. I'm just going to grab like a short handful off of my rack real quick. Let's see if, I don't know if my camera's going to want to adjust at all. But I'll see if I can just show you guys. Off of the top rack. And this wasn't planned. I didn't plan to do this. The only thing that I planned here was showing you guys my Pink Ranger Funko Pop, who is one of my favorite characters of all time, right? So you see that. But what about this? I know a lot of people didn't watch this, and maybe a lot of you guys don't even know it exists. But what about Marvel's Inhumans, which was the worst production they ever did? I actually really, really like the chick that played Medusa, and I loved her in that role. I thought they did a good job with her. The sucky part was that they cut her hair. That was a huge bummer, which is her powers. I'm not just saying I don't like short hair, even though I don't. But for me, that is something that I really like this character. I love seeing Medusa kick some butt. What about Ahsoka Tano? I'd give my right arm. I'm a lefty. I'd give my right arm to see a live action Ahsoka done well. And no, I don't want Brie Larson doing it. I think that's a horrible cast anyway. So, what about this? What about Mystique? Anyone a huge fan of Rebecca Romijn? Or how about Jennifer Lawrence? I am. Me, this guy. I like those characters. I like seeing them kick butt. Who didn't like seeing Mystique kick the butt of Wolverine in X1, 2, and 3? Who didn't want that? Who doesn't like that? So for me, what about Dark Phoenix? I was like one of 7 guys. Well, when I say guys, I mean people in general. But I was like one of 7 people out here on the internet giving X-Men Dark Phoenix a moderate to positive review. You know what I mean? Like I made a huge list video of everything I liked about it, everything I thought was and everything that sucked. But I had probably a lot more positive things to say about this film than almost anybody. I personally, and this is where it gets a little anecdotal, right? This gets anecdotal because it's me we're talking about. It's my experiences, not the whole. But I'll be willing to bet that if people in Hollywood take the time to travel outside of their bubbles and check out the rest of the world, ask some regular people, regular Joes, what they think about some of these guys. And what they think about some of these guys. What about Zazie Beetz playing Domino? What about that? You know what I mean? Like I've got right off the top.
Right off. Let me see how I get this in the shot. There we go. Right off the top, I got 6 of these female Funko Pops, some of my favorite characters of all time, and most of them, except for Ahsoka, have had live action interpretations, which I liked a lot. I love seeing women kick butt. I'm a dude. I'm a red-blooded male. I am one of the most like normie dudes you probably met in a long time. I think I have a lot in common with most dudes, but other than my massive obsession with all this stuff. But nevertheless, I don't think it's right, and I don't think it's fair for her to preemptively blame men for the doom she saw coming. She wouldn't have made this comment if she thought her film was going to kill it. You know what I mean? Like, if she thought my movie is going to do real well, holy smokes, this looks awesome, she wouldn't have said, look, people need to buy tickets. If they don't buy tickets, it's not going to make money. And if it doesn't make money, well, then I guess you guys are just a bunch of sexist pigs. That's like what she's saying. You know what I mean? That's effectively what she's trying to, infer. What is that? She's trying to infer. She's trying to infer that. And so, sorry guys, my like brain dictionary is just losing it. But yeah, it's not good when you first tell everyone that this is a Me Too movie, and you know, like you got hashtag believe all women because women can't possibly lie, or this is not for men, this is a movie for females, and then automatically go, if it fails, it's because men didn't buy any. It's like, yeah, you told them not to. And again, I think that Elizabeth Banks, I think she's a good director. I don't think she's the best director out there. I laughed and I liked and enjoyed Pitch Perfect 3. I think that's the one she did. It was not the strongest of the 3 movies, but I liked it. And there's also, I think she's one of the best, if not the best, female actress alive. I think she's a lot of people worship Meryl Streep. I'm not a big Meryl Streep fan. I really love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's better. I think she's a much better actress than almost anybody out there. I will say though that this did kind of hurt my appreciation for her a little bit, just because it seems so like she's just throwing excuses out there in preparation for the disaster she probably saw coming. If she was confident, she wouldn't have said any of this. If she thought that her movie was going to do awesome, she wouldn't have said any of this. But instead, she threw out a handful of excuses just to like preemptively blame people for something she thought was going to happen. A fail. A big fail. And by the way, that's not me talking. Let's look at the box office. So Charlie's Angels in 2000, you guys probably have seen that, made worldwide $264,105,545. And that was on a budget, a budget of $93 million, which is more than the budget that they had for this one by a substantial margin. So budget $93 million, they made $264 million. That's pretty good. That's, you know, it's not like everyone's rolling in dough, but they're making money. And so for this, with the new Charlie's Angels 2019, we have a budget of $48 million, so just shy of 50, if you want to keep that in your brain, if it's easier to remember. And worldwide, they made 43. Worldwide, 43. Guys, that's not a lot. In fact, that's less than the budget. And this budget does not include the marketing budget. The marketing budget is separate, which sucks. That is awful. And I'm not rejoicing in that. I'm not rejoicing in the downfall of this movie. I want Elizabeth Banks to succeed. I really like her career. I love her work. I think she's a killer actress. I want Marvel I love the idea of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt together as Reed and Sue Richards. And I think that would be a great choice for the Fantastic Four if you're going slightly younger. But I personally want an older Reed Richards and Susan Storm, slightly older. So I'm thinking either Rob Lowe and Elizabeth Banks or John Hamm and Elizabeth Banks. Either way, that's my top choices for those. I've made those videos before. You guys have probably seen my fan casting videos. So I really like this actress. Bummer though. Huge bummer. And I would have hoped to see maybe a little bit more class instead of trying to hammer that this is a female empowerment movie and that it's for women and women are the target audience and that women should go see this and it's not for men, and then blame men because they didn't go see it. What's that about, you know? And this, to summarize, before I get to the comments, the live comments, which I'm going to read right now, it all comes down to what is a strong woman, right? The whole idea here is women empowerment. And I don't know anybody that's not for women empowerment. I don't know that anyone's not for what a lot of feminists nowadays, third wave feminists, not first or second, not the OGs that actually fought for women's rights, but the ones now that are screaming for women's rights they already have. It seems a little redundant. It seems like there's already a lot of women in lead roles. Just make another one. Just make another movie. You don't have to preach. The one thing that people don't like is when you're preaching to them, right? Like if I'm out here and I'm just saying, all of you need to do this and this is what you got to do, and no one likes that. No one's trying to. I'm a Christian. I'm a church going man. I was at church today. It's Sunday. I like to be preached to in certain contexts, but I don't go to Elizabeth Banks for my political views. I don't go to her for social education. I don't go for any education. I go to her for entertainment. And so I'm not trying to take your advice, Elizabeth Banks, but I do want to see an awesome killer movie with an awesome killer female crushing it in combat. I'm all for that. Bring it on, but you don't have to preach about it. You know what I mean? There's a difference. So, like, the difference between Mystique kicking Wolverine's butt in the X-Men movies and leading the team in Dark Phoenix is that, except for that one comment they threw into Dark Phoenix for some reason, they didn't show women. They weren't trying to tell you that they have strong women. They just showed you strong women. They showed you women kicking butt. They showed the audience that if you want a woman leading this film, we're just going to give it to you. How about Jean Grey gets an entire film? How about forget that. Even that too. What if you just take X-Men 1? Who were the lead characters there? It was Jean Grey, it was Wolverine, it was Cyclops, and it was Rogue. Well, Cyclops was kind of butch. Forget that. He got chopped down, and I'm still bitter about that. But we have Wolverine and Jean co-leading that film, with, I would say, Rogue being the second tier lead, and then also Cyclops. And then you have, Magneto and Professor X. So it's kind of an ensemble, but at the same time, the clear and obvious leads were Wolverine and Jean. That was the big thing. And same for X2, same for X3. In fact, X3, she was the main character. No one was bigger than her. But they weren't telling you, this isn't for men. This is an empowerment movie. You need to get on board with this. Otherwise, you're a sexist male. If this movie doesn't make any money, it's because men are sexists. They didn't say that. They didn't say any of that. Why? Because they're smart. They know that if you have a customer, the one thing you don't want to do is piss off that customer, because then you will not get their money. You won't. If you're in sales, and I'm in sales. If you're in sales, don't offend your customer. If the customer comes in and they're here to purchase a service, for instance, if you're gonna mop their floors, right? And they say, hey, I'm gonna be back around 5. Can you be done by then? A proper response would be like, sure, absolutely. Or, actually, you know what? The service is gonna take this much time. Would it be okay if we can schedule for 5:30? Or, you kind of approach it with a humble, that kind of approach. You wouldn't say, what the heck's your problem? Why you showing up that early? Dude, I'm gonna need another hour. You don't do that. You know what I mean? You don't be like bold and brash and, just like, and stick your finger in their face and tell them what they need. You don't do that, right? And it's just good business not to do that. That's kind of what Elizabeth Banks did, whether she was trying to or not. Even though what she was saying was true, technically, not that men don't like women in movies, but if we look again really quick at the verbiage here, where'd it go? Where's my thing? Okay, here we go. She says, look, people have to buy tickets to this movie too. The movie has to make money. That is how movies make money. And yes, it would be nice if people bought the tickets. It says, if this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood. In Hollywood. Yes, I can agree that stereotype is probably floating around the heads of a lot of Hollywood crazies. Yes, that probably makes sense to them.
but not to the paying customer. To the paying customer, we just want a good film. You give us a good, what about Alita Battle Angel? Huh? That made a lot of money. There's tons of films with strong women leads that did not have to preach to show their strong women. It's about this. Do you guys ask yourselves this? Do you like when a movie has someone explain what's going on in the movie verbally, or just do the movie and show what's going on? It's kind of show versus tell, right? Do you want to be told what's going on, or do you want to see what's going on? People want to see what's going on. That's the point of a movie. So if you wanted people to tell you what's going on, you'd watch a documentary, but that's different than a film, than a cinematic experience. So in the case of strong women, the best thing you can do, and this is for Elizabeth Banks because I truly do adore her and her ability as an actress. And I want her to succeed. I want her to succeed in film. I want her to make more movies and TV shows, and I cannot wait for her HBO Max DC superhero high school TV series. I am super excited about that. Elizabeth Banks, you're the best. I love you. Let's talk about this. Do not tell strong women. Show strong women. You must show, not tell. Show it, don't tell it, and you'll make loads of cash. That's how it's done, because you got to give people, set the example. That's what people want. They want people to set an example. They don't want people to preach to them, right? And I guess you could make the argument, hey, maybe I'm doing that right now. Maybe I am. But I'm responding to this, so whatever. It's my video. So let's go ahead and, I know I said I was going to jump right to the comments. Let's go ahead and click over. I'm going to go over to the comments and just check this out. So first we have from Anthony Manzano. He said, let me see if I can get this pop-out chat. I want to see if I can I do the pop-out chat? I don't think it's letting me. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's not going to let me do the pop-out. Okay, I should have planned for that in advance. Let's just take the comments right here. It says, hi, Daniel from Anthony Manzano. What's up, dude? Thank you for frequently tuning into my live streams. I really appreciate you and leaving the comments. Anthony says, Daniel, do you think it would have helped Charlie's Angels to have a person like Jennifer Lawrence as one of the main angels? Actually, I do. I do think that it probably would have helped in one aspect. Actually, no, I lied. Two aspects. I think it would have helped in the realm of attractive appearance. It would have given a little bit more for dudes to cling to. Dudes would have seen that and been like, hey, I think she's pretty. Or, hey, like they would have been able to get a little bit more of a visual draw. And B, the star power alone. There is another drawback, though, and I'll get to that in a second, but the star power would help. Jennifer Lawrence is one of the biggest names in Hollywood. She has kind of tarnished her reputation a little bit amongst a lot of people due to comments like this Elizabeth Banks one. And I think that's sad. I think it's really sad. Because I think she's really talented as well. I like her as an actress, but there are things that she has said that have pissed a lot of people off. So that being said, in this kind of movie, if you're Elizabeth Banks and you're saying we're going to make this a social political film for females and then blame men for not seeing it, I think Jennifer Lawrence might have helped the film. She might have brought a lot more of the people that already feel that way to the table, because that's kind of what Jennifer Lawrence is all about. She is very social, political, and very, I would imagine, very much aligns with what Elizabeth Banks has to say and believes. So that being said, the other primary drawback is that people already know, like people like myself who have seen the comments from Jennifer Lawrence and have seen the comments from Elizabeth Banks, would have seen the two of them get together, hear the comments, and been like, yep, gone. But a lot of people already did that because they don't want to get preached to. No one's trying to get preached to. So that's why people didn't go see it, is because of your comments. And the trailers were not that great. But the two of those there completely tanked your film. The comments and the trailers were not great. Those two things ruined it. But yeah, so that's what I think about Jennifer Lawrence. Now let's go to the next one. Anthony Mazzano again says, Daniel, if Elizabeth Banks had called you to be the casting director of Charlie's Angels, who would you have cast? I agree with your Naomi Scott was good. Yes, so who I would have cast, that's a tough one. Now, I definitely, if I was in charge of casting for a Charlie's Angels film, which notoriously is about really beautiful women that are very attractive to men, not to women, but to men. That's the important thing. You got to be attractive to men. I definitely would have gone with someone with three ladies who are much more visually grabbing. You know what I mean? And someone that really catches your eye. Like women you probably would have wanted in maybe Baywatch. Like, for example, the chick from Baywatch. Like, which I didn't see, by the way, but like Alexandra Daddario was in Baywatch. I would have put her in the cast for sure. She would have been one of those three. And it would have been to that effect. You pick chicks that guys want to look at. That's one huge thing. And then second, I would have picked chicks that are able to do maybe a touch of comedy, not something so. I wouldn't have tried to make it like a chick flick. It kind of, Charlie's Angels felt like a chick flick, the new one. The old one did not feel like a chick flick. It felt like a giant parody of a chick flick from the eyes of a man, though, because they picked really beautiful women kicking butt in a totally like macho explosions and, you know, like big. It was a dude's movie with hot chicks, and that's what it was. That was Charlie's Angels. They flipped that and said, this isn't for men. This is a female movie. This is for the girls. We're going to pick really thin chicks that are not trying to be attractive to men. And if it is attractive to men, we're not trying to be, because it's not for you. You know, like they're doing that. And that whole vibe is a huge, like, it's just like, you know what? That's not for me. I don't need it. It's not even like a draw. It's not like, wow, I need to see that. None of that was there. But for the old one, they didn't care how crazy it seemed, or how on the edge, or like maybe like the tones of like sensuality it might have had, while also being like way over the top Arnold Schwarzenegger level, like masculine, like macho fight scenes and all that stuff. That's what they should have gone for. So I don't know. If I'm casting, I would have picked. Okay, you know what? I do think I might know who I would pick. I would pick Gina Carano. I would pick let's see, who was the other one? Alexander Daddario probably. Oh, and I know who the third one is, Adrienne Palicki. I'd pick those three because that would be, I think, a really big draw for most people. Dudes would go see the film because those are the women most dudes want to be with, and chicks would go see it because those are the women they want to be. That's what you want. And then those three chicks can act. Now, obviously, some of them have a bigger, more prolific resume. They've proven themselves. They've shown themselves. Some of them are a little bit younger into the acting game, but that's fine. With a movie like Charlie's Angels, it shouldn't have to take itself that seriously. It should try to lean into that kind of tongue-in-cheek type of humor, playing off the fact that it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I would go with the casting if I was to be the casting director for Charlie's Angels. And I would definitely not tell the audience anything about who should and shouldn't go. I wouldn't make it some political piece. I wouldn't make it part of any movement. It would just be a crazy film. That's what I would do. So next up on the comment strand, the original Charlie's Angels, I read somewhere the majority of the people who bought the tickets were it's cut off. I can't see it. Let me see if I can do this. Men that enjoyed the movie. Yes, I believe that, because it was designed to be a big blockbuster man's movie with three hot chicks starring. That's the only difference. It wasn't a woman's film. It was a really crazy action movie with three female leads. That's it. And that's what they should have gone for. They shouldn't have gone for, this is a female-led film. This is a this and that. No one gives a rip. about any of that type of agenda. That's not a thing that people care about. What they care about is having a crazy good film that they can either laugh, enjoy, or get really excited about. And those are the things, or if you're going for a chick flick, it's like, can you relate emotionally? Can you cry? You know, but for those things, do men enjoy it? Odds are, if a lot of men enjoy it, women will go see it. It's not true in reverse. It's not true that if a lot of women enjoy a film, a lot of men go see it. That's not true. If a lot of men enjoy something, a lot of women do go. Look at for instance, what a lot of the new, I don't know what to call it, new feminists are saying is that Star Wars has always been for men, and now they've turned the tides. No, it's not written for men. It's written so that men can enjoy it. If men can enjoy it, both can enjoy it. Look at you go to a Star Wars convention. Very often, it's like 3/4, I would say, or it's 2/3 men, 1/3 women, but that's a lot. And that's a lot more women that have ever enjoyed Star Wars, but women have loved Star Wars since it came out. Maybe not to the same obsessive degree, because men tend to obsess a lot harder over these types of things, but they're still spending money. They're still paying for the ticket. They're still doing all of that. And there's been women in... Do I have to go over this again? Unintentional, but there's always been women in Star Wars. Leia's been one of the strongest female characters of all time since she debuted. Since she debuted. A long, long time ago. Or rather, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's... You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been women in Star Wars. And it's been that way for so many different things. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm not even sure who I'm trying to convince at this point, because the video is effectively made for Elizabeth Banks. But if you write it in a way that men can enjoy it, men will enjoy it. If you write it in a way that only women can enjoy it, men won't enjoy it. And that's due to design. You designed it poorly. The movie was not designed in a way that men could like it. And also your comments didn't help. You know what I mean? The comments of it's not for men, or this is, men need to buy it, otherwise it reinforces a stereotype that men don't go see women action films. That's a load of crap. And it might be true in Hollywood. It might be a true stereotype in Hollywood, but it's not true everywhere else. It's due to writing. It's due to design. And I know that Elizabeth Banks she produced, directed, wrote, and starred in that movie. And I haven't seen it because it didn't look like it was for me. And then you told me it wasn't for me. That's why I didn't go see it. Not to mention my wife didn't want to see it. Therefore, I'm not going to go see it. If my wife doesn't want to go see it, I'm not going to see it. Pretty much. There's a few exceptions. Like, I saw Brightburn because I love Elizabeth Banks. See that? I saw Brightburn because I love Elizabeth Banks. It looked great too. Love it. But that being said, let's go to the next comment. So we have Anthony Manzano again says, my favorite action movies of all time are the Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie. Same with my wife. The Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie are a perfect prime example of what makes a good movie relatable to both men and women. Do the women here, if you have a female-led film, ask yourself this question: do men want to be with that woman or women? And do women want to be that woman? Right? Do men want to be with that woman, and do women want to be that woman? Right? If you can answer yes to both of those, truthfully, honestly. In fact, don't even answer it for yourself. Get a room of people. Have them screen the film or screen what you got and ask them that question. Would you want to be with that? If yes, then you're on to something. If no, then you need to start over, maybe recast. Because that is, no one's really saying that about Kristen Stewart. I'm sorry. And I'm not bashing her acting skills. I don't even know if I've seen her act in anything. I really haven't. But people are not in love with Kristen Stewart. Chicks are in love with Kristen Stewart, and I don't know why. All right, so let's go to the next one. I've got
let's see. It says, Daniel, one of my from Anthony Manzano. It says, Daniel, one of my favorite action movies that came out recently was the Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander. Interesting. See, this is where I haven't seen that one, but I didn't see it because my wife said, we're not going to go see that. And I asked her, babe, why not? You love Tomb Raider. She said, yeah, but not this one. I love Angelina Jolie. This new one doesn't look anything like Angelina Jolie, and she's not pretty. And that was my wife. My wife said that. So, very interesting. I'm glad to hear that you liked it. I might give it a shot now. I might rent it and just be like, hey, babe, I'm going to force you to watch this. And she'll be like, no, please, no, I don't want to. And then I'll say, yes, come on, date night. And then she'll be like, oh, whatever. Maybe. And then we might watch it. But my wife doesn't want to watch it because she's not hot to my wife. My wife's like, I'm not going to go see that. Angelina Jolie is the GOAT, right? So, and why is she the GOAT? Is she the best actor around? No. No, she's not. She's pretty good. She is pretty good. She's a pretty good actress. But she's not the best around. Why do people love her? Because she's gorgeous. So, and that's my wife. My wife is obsessed with Angelina Jolie because she's beautiful. So, that should answer the question. Even if my wife feels that way and I feel that way and most of the world felt that way, it's possible that the new movie was actually really good, but people aren't going to go from Tomb Raider with a hot chick to Tomb Raider with a normie. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. People are not going to accept that. And most people didn't. And the box office kind of shows that. So anyway. All right. So next up, let's take a look at this. And I'm glad you like that. I know nothing about Alicia Vikander other than she was the replacement for Jolie in Tomb Raider. So in the reboot, not a replacement. So then he says, Daniel, my past celebrity crush when I was younger was Angelina Jolie. My current one is Alicia Vikander. Interesting. See, this flies in the face of everything that I just said about with me and my wife and everyone that I talk to personally, except for obviously yourself. But wow, that's amazing. So you used to like Angelina Jolie, and now your crush is Alicia Vikander. That's impressive. That's hard for me to imagine, actually, going from crushing on Jolie to crushing on Alicia Vikander. She must have been pretty good in that movie. Now you got me curious. Now I probably might check it out. But anyway, and I've got nothing against her. I got nothing against that movie. I'm just saying, as far as marketing goes and as far as just drawing people on the premise of the cast you chose, they either got to kill it. They got to be like a freaking Elizabeth Banks or James McAvoy level talent in order to draw it out if they're not attractive, or they're really attractive and moderately talented. So, and then you can get away with a lot. So that's pretty much my thoughts. Anyways, guys, I know this has been taking a long time, but thank you so much for asking questions, especially Anthony for asking all of the questions, and everyone else. If you guys want, just leave your comments down in the comment section below. You don't have to answer them live. You don't have to ask them live, but leave them in the comments. I'll get to them later. I'll reply to you personally. I'll reply in the comment to your question. So we can have this conversation about anything you guys want. If you guys want to hear more of this conversation, I know this is not particularly positive, and I do try to talk about the things that are positive, that I like, I enjoy, because that's kind of me. That's kind of who I am. If you guys do want more of these, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like this video so I know you like it. I need you to, if you haven't already, please subscribe, because that just helps my channel out anyway. And leave a comment. Tell me you want more of these types of videos. More of these criticisms, more about, challenging the politicization of these movies and TV shows, that kind of thing. So if you want me to start doing more of those, I need to be told. You need to let me know, because otherwise I don't want to do that. So yeah, but I'll do it for you guys. So let me know what you think. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to cut this video off since we've been going for 44 minutes. Anyways, thanks for everything you guys do. If you guys haven't already and you want to support the channel financially, if you want to help me out, keep my babies fed, because I got my third kid on the way. I know you probably didn't know as a dad. I've got my third kid on the way. So leave a like, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a comment. that 4-part thing right there is going to really help me out in the algorithm. And then share this video with a friend so more people can see it, so we can talk about it more. And that's all free. It's going to cost you nothing. But if you do want to get something for yourself and support the channel financially, head over to tpublic.com/user/The Stuff of Legend Show. And you can find for yourself a plethora of nerd designs for t-shirts and mugs and sweaters and hoodies and tank tops, travel mugs, tote bags, pillows, notebooks, all kinds of cool stuff, wall art, posters, canvases. I sell all these things at my TeePublic website. It's linked down below, so you don't have to remember any of that. But you can click on that, check it out, peruse, browse, see what you guys like. Lots of Superman, Batman, Joker, Supergirl, Spider-Man, and Mandalorian content has recently been uploaded, so you can get your favorite characters merch. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this was a long outro, but you guys stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend. It's t-shirt time. Nerdy Blurb TV is the best. Ooh, yeah.